You don't plan your life, you live it. And then suddenly you say, oh, that's interesting. Those things are sort of all connected. I mean, this is my press pass, my official press pass when I go to Nicaragua in June '78. That's me in carnival strippers. This is me in El Salvador. I mean, it's totally shaped my life. It's a disruption of what's comfortable to move into a space where you have no idea what'll happen. But I'm kind of drawn to that potential opening of a new relationship, a new set of things to think about, perhaps capture, maybe not. I don't feel like it's a failure if I don't come back with photographs. But the photographs create a kind of path in the world that keeps me moving both, as I say, backwards and forwards. I think right from the beginning, photographs, I love making them. I love the relationships that I developed as I was making them. Some of those relationships went on for many, many years, even decades later. But something also about the photograph in the frame wasn't enough, and that just came very organically to me. Because you meet people and they have so much to give that's beyond what you see in the photograph you make. I didn't like just grabbing something and moving on. That was really hard for me, right from the beginning. And you can see it, I think, traces of it. Once I feel comfortable in a place or space, place being a place as small as Nicaragua, space being a dressing room or a girls' show. You can see it even in the more recent work a few years ago, which is a domestic violence shelter. Once I feel I can be there and find a way to be there with the people who are there, then it kind of unfolds. It's a certain kind of way of being in the world through photography. So there are very different kinds of stories here. This happens to be a book on Nicaragua, but my life for a decade, working in different parts of Latin America, more of it can be seen in the tear sheets than anything else. This is like recovering not just a set of photographs about a place in time, it's also about me in time, kind of revisiting how I was learning to see. Nicaragua for me is probably the most complex history I've come to be part of. You know, history being made by people in the streets and what it means to record it, to revisit it, what it means to me, what it means to the people in the photographs. I've mostly worked in North America, and so this is a big shift point to just get on a plane and go somewhere, and that place turns out a year later to be having a revolution that overthrows a dictatorship. And now here we are, 45 years later, and it's still in, I would say, a different kind of stage and a very difficult one, in which many of the people I knew who, if they hadn't died, are now in exile. Many of the people I went back to find in the film Pictures from Revolution 10 years later, because I really wanted to understand what it was like to be part of a revolution after you fought for one. So I think this project is much more about time. In a funny way, I don't think anything's finished. I heard someone say this, I think this is really true. It's not about stories, because stories have beginning, middle, and end. It's about narratives that are ongoing in relation to a number of dynamics. One is what's happening in my life that leads me somewhere, that brings me back somewhere. And then the lives of the photographs have one kind of life, and the lives of the people in the photographs have a different one. Be they in Nicaragua or be they in New York City. These are all time-based, shifting perspectives. So that really interests me about photography. I mean, that's what excites me about photography in an ongoing way. I generally say something that probably many people say: follow what moves you, what motivates you, what passions you have. Don't get inhibited by what you think other people want of you. And that's hard, actually, because, you know, everybody has their idea of who you should be. When I was a woman photographer and then I was a war photographer. Really? Is that what has to define me? When I did the Kurdistan project, there were people who said, you're not a historian, you're not a curator. Why are you doing this? And I'm just glad I didn't listen. I've seen a lot, so I feel an obligation as a witness in some way. I mean, nobody's obliging me, but it's in my DNA to respond and to see what I can contribute.